If you're watching this, then you're probably on the way to earning your real estate license. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into a real estate practice exam that can help you pass. What is a broker? A person who buys homes for resale. A person who supervises agents and runs a brokerage. B. Or a person who only works with buyers. C. B. A person who supervises agents and runs a brokerage. A broker holds a higher license and can employ agents. What is a habendum clause? A clause that describes the type of ownership being transferred. A clause for home warranties. B. Or a clause that sets loan interest. C. A clause that describes the type of ownership being transferred. Now, it's always going to begin with to have and to hold, and it defines the ownership rights that the buyer receives. What is a balloon payment? A payment that stays the same every month. A payment that decreases over the lifetime of the loan. B. Or a final large lump sum payment due at the end of a loan. C. A final large lump sum payment due at the end of the loan. It's always going to start off with small monthly payments, but it'll always end with a big final payoff amount. What is economic obsolescence? Loss in value caused by poor maintenance. A. Loss in value caused by external factors outside the property. B. Or loss in value caused due to age. C. B. Loss in value caused by external factors outside the property. It's when something outside the property lowers its value, like a noisy freeway or living close to an airport. Or how about living by a train? Those things can cause economic obsolescence. What is a leasehold estate? Full ownership of land. A. Temporary possession of property without ownership. B. Joint ownership of property. C. B. Temporary possession of property without ownership. So tenant gets possession for a set time, but does not own the property. Probably like the apartment we may be renting. Now, a leasehold estate and a freehold estate, you'll see both of those on the state exam. The freehold estate, that has full ownership rights, and it's the highest level of ownership one can have. What is a redlining violation? Steering buyers to certain houses. A. Refusing to show properties in certain areas. B. Or denying loans based on the area, racial, or ethnic characteristics. C. Denying loans based on the area, racial, or ethnic characteristics. It is an illegal discrimination where lenders refuse loans or insurance based on race. Now, to help you with your state exam, always remember that redlining has to do with loans. Now, there's 3 discrimination practices, which is blockbusting, steering, and redlining. But redlining and loans always go together. So just put those together for your state exam. Loans, redlining, loans. What does encroachment mean? A lien placed on a property. A shared driveway agreement. B. Or a neighbor's physical structure crossing onto another's land. C. A neighbor's physical structure crossing onto another's land, like an overgrown tree branch crossing the boundary or property lines. You may see this in certain areas you walk in, especially certain neighborhoods. What is liquidated damages? A pre-agreed amount of money to be paid if one party breaches. A. Damages chosen by a judge. B. Or damages that the seller must pay before closing. C. A. Pre-agreed amount of money to be paid if one party breaches. It's a preset amount the parties agree to. Usually the earnest money deposit, EMD, if they cancel or withdraw the contract. Usually escrow holds this. What is a quiet title action? A lawsuit to cancel closing costs. A lawsuit to settle disputes and remove clouds on title. B, or a lawsuit to reduce property taxes. C, B, a lawsuit to settle disputes and remove clouds on titles. It clears up any disputes over who owns the property and removes claims, liens, or clouds, so the title becomes quiet. What is steering? Overpricing a home in an area for a potential buyer because of their race or protected class. A, guiding buyers toward or away from areas based on race or protected class. B, or avoiding clients while guiding them to other real estate agents with the same race. C. B, guiding buyers toward or away from areas based on race or protected class. Steering is a fair housing violation. Agents cannot influence where clients should live based on race, religion, or ethnicity. A listing agreement is best described as a promise to pay, a contract between a buyer and a seller, B, or a bilateral employment contract, C, a bilateral employment contract. It's going to be bilateral because the seller agrees to pay and the agent agrees to perform services. So there's two parties agreeing to do something. In a unilateral contract, only one person will promise to do an action. But since this is a bilateral employment contract, two people are promising to do something. What is commingling? Mixing loan types. A, selling two properties at once and swapping the funds into your personal account. B, or mixing client money with the broker's personal funds. C, mixing client money with the broker's personal funds. It is extremely illegal. Client trust funds must stay separate from personal or business money. Which listing gives the most protection? Open listing, A, net listing, B, or an exclusive right to sell listing, C, exclusive right to sell listing. An exclusive right to sell listing guarantees the broker gets paid no matter who finds the buyer. What must an agent disclose to a buyer about a neighborhood? Someone has died within the last 5 years. A, the seller's motivated to sell. B, or a registered sex offender lives nearby. C, a registered sex offender lives nearby. A is correct only if it was within 3 years and of natural cause. You don't have to disclose if someone has died with AIDS or HIV. But if it's a natural cause and if it's within 3 years, you must disclose that information. Megan's Law requires sex offenders' information to be available.